It says we're live, but it's not finished downloading.
Okay. Oh, there we are.
Well, it says we are, oh, here, just a sec. Now we should be, there you go.
Excellent. Thanks and appreciate it. All right. Well, I'm going to call this council meeting to order at 5:30. Are there any additions to the agenda? Merv?
No, I think we'll wait till next meeting to give you some details of what we're proposing when we want to open the library.
Sounds good, Merv. Okay, we'll put that on the next agenda. Brent?
Yeah, we should hopefully have something.
Brent's got nothing. Tim?
Yes, I just want to touch a little bit about the announcement made on Friday concerning the assault style firearms ban.
Okay, we'll add that as number 3 under new and unfinished. Jack, do you have anything?
Oh, no.
Okay, I just want to add number 4, the resolution about the OP. And with the friendly amendment, of course, that we're going to make it, I believe you said September 28th, Annette?
September 26th is what I said, originally
Okay.
March 26th.
That's a Saturday.
Oh, well, I can change it to the 28th.
Perfect. That's the Monday. All right. Now that we've added those 2 items, can I get a mover and a seconder for confirmation of the agenda, please? Moved by Tim, second by Merv. Anything further? All those in favor? All right. Is there any pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof? Seeing none. Can I get a mover and a seconder for the minutes from the April 20th or 21st, 2020 regular council meeting, please? Moved by Brent, seconded by Tim. Any errors or omissions? Seeing none. All those in favor? Thank you. We have no delegations this evening. Reports have been filed. And so we can move on to, all right. I have a resolution dated this 5th day of May, 2020, that the correspondence be filed. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Merv, second by Tim. All those, anything further on correspondence? All those in favor? All right. I have a resolution dated today that the 2019 financial statements and the 2019 financial information return from McKillican and Associates Chartered Accountants be approved as presented. Anything further on the financials? Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Jack, second by Brent. All those in favor? All right, the next thing under new and unfinished is the check register. Were there any questions about the check register for this month, for this period? Seeing none. All right, so we'll move on to new and unfinished number 3, and I'll turn this over to Tim.
Okay, guys, I didn't have a whole pile of time to prepare, but before I go too far forward with it, I'm thinking everybody is aware of the announcement made last Friday on the upcoming assault style ban. Am I correct? We're right now in a very extreme financial state, as I can see, right across the board with this COVID-19 pandemic in play, and just from the numbers that I've gathered in the last little bit, we're approaching what, $300 billion in spending on the federal side. We're going to need to keep our roads going in our municipalities and such. We rely a lot on on funding coming from the top down to improve our roads and our infrastructure. We don't need to be spending money. I'm thinking on things as I see as not really going to have any effect on public safety. This ban, from what I gather, and like I say, what I'm trying to do is figure out, do we do a resolution, or can we do a resolution, or discuss, something we can put forward to the federal government that, rather than target already law-abiding citizens in the country, to spend that money a little more wisely, because it's going to be in short supply in the near future. What do you think?
Well, Tim, I've been giving this a lot of thought over the weekend. Obviously, there's been a lot of rhetoric. There's been a lot of stuff on social media. Many people don't really understand what firearms do what. I think the best thing I've heard is from our premier, who very astutely said he does not believe that this ban is going to solve the gun crime issue. Mayor John Tory echoed those remarks, which I really appreciate. And if the money is going to be spent on specifically firearms, what I would like to see is exactly what the premier put forward. Take that 600 million, beef up our borders, give the tools to our border patrols and our law enforcement, who he waxed poetic about. We've got amazing law enforcement. Why not arm them with that money? No pun intended, but give them that money to strengthen the guns and gangs issue, illegal firearms coming across the border. Premier Ford said, none of these, catch and release for gun crimes, he said, throw the book at them. And so I really, truly appreciated Premier Ford's thoughts on this. And I would say that if we're going to write a resolution, if this is the manner in which they want to, let's spend the money where it should be spent.
And that's what I'm going at, right? I'm looking at it like, it's all fresh, but I'm dissecting the list, and on the list there are so many firearms that are used right now by hunters. There's shotguns, there's single shots, there's in no way the definition of an assault. There's not one assault rifle on the list. It's the assault style, and that's where people are starting to get a little bit confused.
Yeah,
they use the military grade. Well, there's nothing there that's military grade. None of these firearms are currently used in our military that they're banning. Like they're using the word style, and the image of it. If it looks bad, we can't go around and I know us as a council would never make a decision on anything in our governing based on how something looked. Like, that is absolutely, as far as I'm concerned, careless. You can't make laws based on the way an appearance is. It's not logical. And the punishment of law-abiding citizens, it's not governing, it's tyranny. That is, it's not. I can't stress it enough. If one life would be saved by any of these measures that they're putting into place, I'd probably get behind it in a heartbeat. But the rules and regulations that they've come up with are going to do nothing for public safety, because the people that they are after, guys, are the people that, like I've said before in previous times, I've had a background check done today. I'm a firearms owner. Why am I in that same category as the guy robbing the bank and robbing the store or shooting at people? You're not going to achieve anything by removing an inanimate object from a law-abiding citizen. So, like I say, just to see what you guys want to do going forward. If there's something we can do, I like your suggestions there, Jen, for sure.
Well, I've literally been giving it a lot of thought, and you all know, not only am I a cop kid, my brother's a cop, my cousin is a cop, and I take gun violence very seriously. And I agree with you, Tim. If I thought that one life would be saved by this, I might feel a bit differently. But at this time, I feel like that money could be so well spent in other areas when it comes to guns and gangs. And that's where I sit. I see Brent unmuted himself. Brent, did you have something?
Oh, well, probably like in my opinion, it's this is comparable to like kind of, it's one of my points I had before is like, where is the taxpayer money going towards? So like during the COVID-19, like there was never say an allowance set out for say shelter going towards shelter, food for food. So like if this is the government's decision for this is for public safety, and then experts are coming out and this isn't going to be the most effective thing for saying preventing gun violence or illegal activity. All this is doing is just impacting legal gun owners who are owning and going through background checks. But no, end of the day, like the money, it's a significant amount of money that's getting spent for something that isn't doing what its intended purpose is for. And I'm not in the nature of writing, say, blank checks. What I really would like to see is exactly what Tim and yourself had suggested, and same as Tory and Premier Ford, is the fact that this goes towards protecting the actual citizens through be it the board, like ensuring that we have proper borders. So gun task force, like there's a lot of things that this can go towards too. And especially, and also I remember, I think it was back in the Christmas break when Minister Gallant had said that, you know what, maybe it's the best thing for a lot of our MPs to actually do like a gun safety course to actually understand the difference between a lot of these guns. It's not just the styles we're talking about, but this is something that I think that needs a lot more thought put into it. And I think that when both Mr. Tory and Premier Ford can kind of get their head, like they're both on the same page on this and saying, hey, this is impacting our province and their two largest cities and also the Ontario government. So I think that the money can be spent somewhere else. And I would be happy to support a resolution to just try to find an alternative for this, because I think the taxpayers' money is getting spent enough. And I think we need to focus on where it's getting spent.
Yes, and please don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I don't believe we have 600 million to be spending on a buyback program right now. I completely agree that COVID-19, they're going to need a ton of help. All I'm saying is if Minister Blair wants to use this money within the confines of his ministry, I just think guns and gangs is the way to go. Merv, did you have any comment on this?
No, I agree fully. I mean, the ones that use those guns to kill people and shoot things up certainly haven't registered guns.
That's
They're
right.
in here legally.
Jack, did you have a comment?
The only comment I have on this is I agree that this is not the target to go and reduce crime. You're not going after the right people. If you want to go after them, it's like even what was brought up, the guns that were used are coming illegally across from the border. That's where the money should be spent. That's where the energy should be spent, is in preventing the illegal guns from coming across, because the once they come across, then they're in the people's hands that they can turn around, sell them or whatever, dispose of them, and continue to feed people that need the guns to kill the people and continue to do the crime and in the drug market. So this is not the way to reduce gun violence, by going after these guns.
Well, I'll tell you guys, the Chief of Police, Mark Saunders from Toronto, agrees with all of us. And as a side, so does my dad. So I think, Annette, it sounds like we're all on the same page. If we could formulate some resolution, perhaps for our May 19th committee meeting, that would be wonderful. And I want to thank all of you. You know, I think that this is a responsible way to reach out to the feds to say, could we do this another way? So thank you, guys. Anything further on that? All right. So now I'll move on to new and unfinished number 4. Boy, I'm acutely aware of how many times I touch my face now.
Yes, yes.
Sorry. I have a resolution dated this 5th day of May, 2020. Whereas the notice of decision given on March 27th, 2020, under subsection 17, parentheses 34 of the Planning Act, with respect to the official plan amendment number 25, OPA 25, to the Renfrew County official plan was received March 30th, 2020. And whereas this decision became effective on March 26th, 2020, and whereas pursuant to subsection 17, parentheses 36.5 and parentheses 38.1 of the Planning Act, this decision is final and not subject to appeal. And whereas this decision will have a negative impact on development and the economy within Renfrew County, including matters of provincial interest, such as affordable housing, employment planning, growth management, asset management, and economic development. And whereas the province is in a state of emergency or a state of economic recovery due to the impacts of COVID-19, and whereas the municipalities are already under a tremendous amount of strain due to a loss of revenue, increase in expenses, lack of resources, work from home conditions, and local businesses and development being shut down. And whereas development applications already underway will either not materialize or experience extreme delays due to the excessive requirements under this decision. And whereas an extension to, and this is the friendly amendment, September 28th, 2020, for the effective date of these provisions would allow municipal staff the time to incorporate these changes and support economic recovery, to allow applications currently in the works to be completed at a time when development will play a crucial role in the recovery of Renfrew County and Ontario. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of Bonnechere Valley implores the province of Ontario to amend the effective date and the decision with respect to the official plan amendment number 25 to the Renfrew County official plan to September 28th, 2020, to assist in the economic recovery of Renfrew County and Ontario, and that further a copy of this resolution be sent to the Honorable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, the Honorable Steve Clark, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, the Honorable John Yakubuski, MPP Renfrew Nipissing Pembroke, the County of Renfrew, and all of its, I'm going to do another friendly amendment here, all of its local tier municipalities, please, Annette, as opposed to lower tier. Thank you. Just we're trying to revamp the verbiage. Can I get a mover and a seconder for that resolution, please? Moved by Tim, seconded by Brent. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Excellent. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All right. And I believe that takes us to our bylaws. This is so weird having to work on 2 devices. So I have a resolution dated this 5th day of May, 2020, that one bylaw 2020-028 being a bylaw to enter into an agreement with Municipal Government Wayfinders Limited, and bylaw number 2020-029 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council be read a first time, be deemed read a second time, be deemed read a third time and passed. Can I get a mover and seconder, please? Moved by Brent, second by Merv. Any discussion on those bylaws? And everybody knows that Wayfinders, everyone got that email that they will be reaching out with some questions for a service delivery review? Okay, good. I will call for the vote. All those in favor? Excellent. And I have a resolution dated this 5th day of May, 2020, that the council meeting be adjourned at 5:49 p.m. Can I get a mover and seconder, please? Moved by Brent, second by Merv. All those in favor? Thanks, guys. Good meeting.
That's great.
See you
Thank
Thursday.
See you Thursday. Miss you guys.
Take care.
You too, Merv.
Yeah.
Take care.
Be good, guy.
You can fire up the big boy now, Tim.
We will.
Just takes time for us to catch up on YouTube, so I can't shut off too early. Otherwise I cut yous off.